Well, Smiles from Black Film and TV. Jasmine, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's been a whirlwind of less than 5 years in a way since we've met, and
I
look where it's
know.
gone. From Mistress America, to all of a sudden, look, you got your own show right now. And I was just talking to Raphael Devine, but how did this come about for you when he first told you we're going to do a series? You're going to be the lead of it.
I got the call about 3 years ago from Diggs and Rafa, and we did the film, and they called and they were like, we want to do a TV show, but we don't want to do it with Colin and Miles in the front. We really want to do it through Ashley's perspective. And we really want to give you a platform to just fly and develop a character and go deep and create an arc and really kind of find out who Ashley is as a woman. And so I just got so excited, and mostly because I get to play and create with really good friends of mine, and really just get to tell the story in this beautiful kind of theatrical, funny, heart-wrenching way.
So, how much of percentage wise is what you wanted and what they wanted?
Say that again.
How much percentage wise is what you wanted for the character to what they wanted for the character?
I mean, I think it was equal. It's all, if I ever really had a problem, we'd talk about it and we'd kind of solve it. But I didn't really have any problems, and every idea that they came up with, I loved. We don't really bump heads as friends or kind of creatively. We really want to make sure that everybody is satisfied in what they're doing. And if somebody really has a problem, like we'll work it out. But we didn't really have any problems at all of where the characters go or what they're going through.
Now, you've worked obviously doing theater every day. You've done films, you've done TV shows, but here you're the protagonist. You're the lead. You're mostly on every page, interacting with all of the characters. What does that do for you as an actress? That when it's one thing when you're part of an ensemble crew with the work you've done before, but now you're pretty much on all the pages, for the most part.
Yeah, I think, you have to find the flow of the character. You have to be persistent. It's a lot of is being asked of you when you're dealing with everyone and following Ashley's story. I think the most challenging is, Ashley goes on a very crazy roller coaster of emotions, and I didn't want her to be just one note. I really wanted people to see all the colors of her and her funny moments that she does have with Miles, and kind of that love and that bond, and the funny moments that she has with her best friend, Janelle, but also her heartbreak and how angry she gets. And, when she really unveils herself and is her honest and most purest self, when she breaks the fourth wall and goes into heightened verse, because, her point of view isn't influenced by any other character. It's just her. So there's so many sides to her with Ashley that I loved and had so much fun playing. So I just didn't want to make her one note with her sadness, and what she was going through. I really wanted people to see that she also can be a fun person, and she is funny, and she's just going through a really hard time at the moment.
You mentioned the fourth wall, and it was interesting to see that because you're not just talking, but you're also doing it in a poetic way. So how is that? It's like almost like drama school where you just have to do this monologue and people just watch you go.
Yeah, I definitely had to kind of go back to acting school for this show. It's a great show, but it's a challenging show. I sometimes I would get a verse like last minute the night before that was rewritten, and I had to like learn it very quickly the night before. And there were a lot of challenges, but the heightened verse is one of my favorite things that Ashley does in the show. And so I just wanted to make sure I was giving it justice and, really bringing to life the words of Rafa Diggs, or, they wrote a lot of Ashley's, and Benjamin wrote a lot of his verses that he has later in the show. But, I just wanted to make sure I was doing a good job, and I didn't seem fake or phony or not a rapper or whatever, but we really decided that it was almost feels like Shakespearean kind of monologues with the rhyming and the kind of emotion that comes in these heightened verses. So it was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah, not everybody can do it. Sometimes you hear somebody and goes, "You're trying too much," but then you have to be good at it.
Yeah.
You've played moms before. Say, and it's good to be like, oh, she did a Free Ray Sean on another level. What's now playing mom again. It's like, okay, you don't need to talk to anybody about, doing research. You've done this already now. It's all different now because now it's a sitcom, it's not so much of a sitcom, a dramedy, so like, what's it like playing a mom again, because it's like, before back in the day, actresses wouldn't want to play those mom roles early in their career, but now it's like, hey, this is the way of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I'm used to, and I got to play with Atticus, and he's so cute, and he's such a good little actor. He was great to work with. He brought so much energy and playfulness on set. But there are Ashley is kind of like the unsung hero of a lot of mothers out there, and what they're going through, and a lot of single mothers. She's dealing with a lot, and I just wanted to make sure I was playing her right, and for all the mothers that feel this way, that they can connect to her through some type of way, so I just wanted to make sure I was being grounded and honest and truthful and playful,
You've got a good ensemble you're working with, and then there's Helen Hunt. We've known her for over 2 decades, 3 decades in a way on TV. What's it like working with her, obviously, and with the exposure that she's brought onto the screen?
Well, Helen Hunt is a legend. She's such an amazing actor. She's worn so many hats in this business. She's been a producer, a director, and so many other things, and a writer. And you see all of that in her performance. And she plays Rainey so effortlessly. It's like she's known so many Raineys in her whole entire life. And it's like a masterclass working with her. I'm so honored to go head to toe with her on screen, and just learn so much from her. It's been such a pleasure working with her, and she has such a loving energy, and she's kind of like that, Mama Helen on set anyway to all of us. So she's been super supportive of everyone.
We got some nice cameos in there that we see from the first episode. So what was that like when they brought in Anthony? I was like, oh, okay, he's working everywhere. Did you guys shoot this during COVID, or he was like, I'm available?
Yeah, he was shooting in treatment at the time. We were living together in LA, and I was shooting Blindspotting, and he was shooting in treatment in LA. So it all worked out. These things are a family affair,
Yes.
This is how we kind of roll, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, but it was so much fun. I mean, it was just so much fun to kind of, it's always great to do art with people that you love and people that you care about. That's the dream. That's what it's about,
Last week, I got the pleasure of talking to your dad, because he's also on TV promoting Lisi's story. So it's like, oh, everybody's working, and obviously this is the first time I'm talking to you since you guys won Emmys, so congratulations. How has life been since that? Are people noticing you more? Are you getting more work? Are you being offered a lot? Or is it you're still, even though you got this job, you're still going out for things, well, you always have to go out for things, but are things coming to you more?
I think, I think it's more on people's radar. I just, want to continue to work as an actor and create my own stuff as well. Like I've been writing my own projects and doing that. You know, we also won both Emmys in the middle of a pandemic when everything was shut down. So it's just it's a beautiful kind of piece to have and recognition. It doesn't make me less than or better than anyone else. I'm just honored and happy to receive it and to be able to share that moment with my dad,
Mm-hmm. What goes into saying yes to the projects you take? Obviously, there's one thing when it's people that that come to you like, oh, we wanted to do this. But what makes you want to say yes? What do you look for?
I look for a lot of things. I mean, the first is the story and what we're talking about. And the biggest thing is if it inspires me. And the writing is good and the character, there's a lot of depth to the character. Those are kind of the roles that I look for now. And something that gets me excited and hope, and I hope that inspires me and inspires others.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those who haven't seen Blindspotting, the film, is this do they have to catch up on the movie to see the show, or can they catch the show without seeing the movie?
They can, it would be great if you can see the movie before the TV show, but you don't have to see the movie before at all. There are a lot of characters from the film that are in the TV show, but it's not necessary. People can start watching the TV show and then want to know what the movie is, and they can go backwards. Then they can watch the movie. So it's a new story from Ashley's perspective, and in a way you get to see Ashley that you didn't get to see in the movie. So I think people can do both.
Throughout the whole pandemic, the good thing about watching a lot of TV shows, that I got to see a lot of folks that I normally would see on stage all working in one form or another. And when I talk to theater directors, they always talk about like, oh, they want to bring work. They want to give work to theater actors, because there's no stage. Theater's coming back in September, which is great. A lot of the shows are now gearing up for that. Any plans to help promote the fact that theater's coming back to New York on Broadway so we can get those fans back again?
Yeah, listen, I'll always promote it. I love theater. Theater is my first love. It's how I got into acting. And, I was really just heartbroken when, theater had to shut down and a lot of my friends were out of work. And I love to see my friends in theater. I love doing theater. Every time I go, I get inspired as an artist in some way, shape, or form. And there is nothing like theater. So I will always promote theater. I will always go to theater until the day I die.
Hey, keep it going. And and just yesterday, Roku just started promoting the shows that they had on Quibi. So
Yeah,
Free Ray Sean is back on. So we're never going to stop seeing that, because for those who saw it then, and then now they can see it on Roku, so it's everywhere. So you have a couple of shows on TV. Where do we see you next? That's new. Besides this show.
I mean, the newest is the show that comes out, in June on June 13th. And it's the biggest platform for me as an artist, I think, that I've really ever done, and people get to really see me in a way, creatively that they've never really seen me before. So, we'll do that. And hopefully I can write my album in July.
Keep it going. I'm always here to support. It's good seeing you. Hopefully we'll see each other again in person.
Always good to see you. Thank you so